Hey, and welcome to this Festival Pro tutorial video. Today we're going to take a look at paying guest lists. So this is if you want to allocate some tickets, much like we would on the guest list invite managed, where we're going to come into our guests and we're going to give, say, Bacardi 10 tickets into the accreditation. And they've got 4 in here, we can give them 10. And then these guys get sent a form. As you may be aware, we would just send them their guest list, which would be guest invite. Bacardi will get their 10 tickets, and then they'll get a form whereby they could fill in their names, and those people get the 10 tickets. And that's great, but what if you want those people to be paying for their tickets? And that's what we're going to look at today. So to do this is quite simple. We're going to clone the process that we have just looked over for the free tickets. And we can go into our config login, go to forms, and we can just take this guest list invite managed and we can copy it. And I did this earlier and I copied it and I renamed it to paid guest list invite allocation. Now all we're going to do in here is we're going to change the form to not send any tickets. And we're going to make a couple of changes to this field here. We can come into edit and we're going to remove the ticketing option because we don't want to send any tickets till they've paid. We're going to create an email. Here I'll just put quite simply, please pay for your ticket. This is what they'll get. You've been issued a guest ticket, click here to pay. Now this has to be linked to your payment form and we'll get to that in a moment. We also want to make sure we sync this field to the general accreditation and to the guest ticket that we're looking for them to pay for it. And again here with we're going to leave the max. We can see this under the field options here. So that's it. That's this form already done. The next thing we want to do is create add a new form. And for this, we're going to call it the paying guests form. And I've got one here that I did. As soon as you create the form, it's going to give you first name, last name, email address as standard. This will bring in the names that were given on the first sheet, so whichever names were allocated to them. If you want them to be able to edit these names, maybe the guest list owner could make some spelling mistakes, you can leave that as is. Or if you come into edit, and you can change this to visible, not editable, if you would like the names to remain the same. And the only field we're going to add to this is a ticket type 1, as we called it. You could name this whatever you like, but we're just going to use a counter. Set it to 1 and 1. We will put in a ticket. We will put in a cost, booking fee if you so desire. And we are going to limit the maximum booking to 1 as well. And there we go. That is now all set up and ready to go. So the final step is going to be making sure we have an email template for this. And I just copied the guest invite one and I just renamed it paying guest invite. And we can come in here and we can edit this information in here. Perhaps you want to add, upon filling in their names, your guest will be sent an email to pay for their ticket. And we want to make sure that this link here is going to that first form we set up, the paying guests allocated form. And then of course the paying guest allocated form in the email is pointing to your payment form. So that's the chain of events. And then you would quite simply send this guest form to anyone who you have allocated some tickets to. So for example, I've got a test person here. I can come into my accreditation and maybe I set these guys 5 tickets that they can allocate and assign. And then I want to email them our new paying guest invite, whereby they'll get a link. They can insert these names, and any of the names that get added here will receive the email. And once they have paid, they'll get their ticket generated and sent to them. So I hope this has been helpful in just detailing how you can utilize the guest list function to also take paying guests.